We're here on KLGR 1490 AM and FM 95.9 and on video at Facebook on KLGR Ag at the Minnesota State Fair, and I am privileged to be joined by the new Princess K of the Milky Way, and that is Emily Annexstad of Nicollet County, or Annexstad, I'm sorry.
You're good.
So congratulations, first of all, on becoming the princess.
Thank you. It's so exciting.
Could you tell some of our viewers and listeners what the steps are to kind of what you have to go through the whole process to become the princess?
So in May, I went to what we call the May event, which is where dairy princesses throughout all the state of Minnesota compete for a spot to be one of the 12 finalists. I was actually the last of the 12 to have my name announced at the banquet, so that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but very exciting. Throughout the summer, I've been doing stuff as a county dairy princess and preparing for this. And then a few days ago, we had judging with all the 12 finalists. It consisted of everything from a written portion to a speech to a mock media interview. And then on Wednesday night, they crowned Princess K.
So I bet that was quite a great moment for you when they put that crown on your head, right?
It was an amazing feeling.
I suppose, and you said it was kind of nerve-wracking that you were the last one picked at the May meeting, but, you know, they always say last but not least, you know, and certainly that seems to have panned out for you, right?
Yeah, that seems to be the case here today.
So you want to tell us a little bit about the operation you have down there in Nicollet County?
I grew up as the third generation on my family's dairy farm, so I worked alongside my grandparents and parents and brothers growing up. I did any chore on the farm from milking cows to feeding calves, and I really enjoyed it. We also grow about 500 acres of corn, soybeans, and alfalfa, and the corn and alfalfa we use to feed our cows.
So now, as you look at the year ahead, I mean, there's a lot of duties you have to do. What are some of the things that are expected of you now as you hold your title?
I'll be at the state fair every day talking to people right here in the dairy bar building. So if any of your viewers are coming to the state fair, I'd welcome them to come over and check out our dairy treats. But throughout the year, I'll be doing classroom visits and speaking at banquets. Also, the Super Bowl is in Minnesota this year, so I'm hoping to be able to work with the Fuel Up to Play 60 program and do something with that this year.
That's a great time, especially when it's right here in our own backyard. And of course, you've already had your first duty yesterday. As we look at you, you've had your likeness carved in butter.
Yes, this is the result. I think it looks like me.
It does look like you, and it's got the crown isn't as nice, but you know, it does a great likeness of you.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to sit in there for the hours on end to sit there? I mean, you think in August in Minnesota, it's usually warm, especially if you're on the farm baling or whatever. It's always hot. And now you're sitting in there thinking, I might need a winter coat or something like that, because I'm sure it gets cold in there.
Yeah, it's actually 40 degrees in the cooler, and that's to keep the butter at the right temperature for Linda Christensen, our sculptor, to be able to sculpt it. She's been doing this for 46 years, so she knows what she's doing. She did an awesome job and was really fun to talk to, but you mentioned it was cold, so the dairy farmers provide us with a nice winter jacket to wear, and along with our snow pants and boots, we stayed warm throughout the day.
I bet you did.
It takes 6 to 8 hours though, so we started at about 5 and finished up at about 9 with different breaks, and one of the finalists, Margaret, is getting her head sculpted here starting at about 9 o'clock this morning.
So now when the state fair is over, what's your plans for your bust and butter?
My parents actually already took home the scraps, so it starts as a big block, but as she takes away the scraps, they go into a food safe bucket, and then my parents got to take that home. So I'm planning on using that for my family and to make some cookies for people who have helped me. And then I'm going to save my butter head here for a few months in our freezer because I want to remember this, and it's pretty cool to have your head sculpted. So I'm going to save that before hopefully using it in the community at some fun event.
Well, Emily, I thank you very much for taking the time to interview with us today, and congratulations on becoming the Princess K, and look forward to hearing more about you throughout the year.
Thank you.
That's Emily Annexstad. She is the new Princess K of the Milky Way, crowned just Wednesday here at the Minnesota State Fair.